All right, welcome everyone, and we will call the Troy City Council meeting for September the 10th to order. If you all would please rise for a brief invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Lord, once again we come before you with humble and grateful hearts, thankful for the opportunity to serve our constituents in the great city of Troy. We ask that you continue to put your arms of love and hope and peace and understanding around the Starling family and all others in our community who are suffering losses. Please lead us and guide us in everything you say and everything we say and do. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. If we'll place the flag, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. If the clerk will please note that all of our members are present, and note that our mayor is under the weather and not with us this evening, but we hope he is well soon and back at it doing the good business of the city. We do have, our executive committee did meet at 4 o'clock this afternoon to discuss agenda items. And I think Councilwoman Baker does have a committee report from the Education, Recreation, and Library Committee.
I do. I'd like for everybody to save the dates of October 7th and 8th. It's a Monday and Tuesday. The City of Troy, Troy City Schools, and Troy University are going to be hosting community forums to discuss education in our community. These will be open meetings to identify steps we can take to strengthen, support, and educate our children from cradle to career. Details regarding locations and times will be announced in the coming week as we finalize those, but we will be offering at least a meeting during the day and a meeting at night so that hopefully we can capture everyone in our community. So go ahead and save those dates, October 7th through 8th, details to come.
All right, thank you. Any other committee reports at this time? If not, council, you have the minutes of the previous meeting before you. If there are no additions or corrections to those minutes, a motion to approve is in order.
So moved.
By Mr. Meeks, seconded by Mr. Jones. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Thank you. The first item of business on our agenda is a restaurant retail on-premise liquor license for What the Cluck Wings. And Mr. Meeks, if you don't mind, will you handle this liquor license request?
Yes, sir. Again, Mr. Fairmore stated that this is a Class 020 restaurant retail liquor license. Its trade name for the business is What the Cluck Wings. It's going to be located at 1215 U.S. Highway 231 South, Suite C. Do we have a representative? Will you please come forward? State your name and tell us a little bit about your business, please. What you plan on doing.
All right. My name is Ishtihad Muhammad. I'm a representative, co-owner of What the Cluck Wings. Mainly, we want to pretty much offer, we noticed that there was a drought on wings in the city, so we kind of wanted to handle that problem, but we also know with wings, you also need, your beer and sports and everything too, so we want to keep, that vibe going. Also, there's more things that we want to offer. Hopefully with that vibe, we can do different events and kind of add to the thing to do in town for the students and everyone else. But that's mainly what
What are your operating hours?
Okay, so we open at 6 for breakfast. We start lunch at 11, and on Thursdays through Saturdays, we're open until 3 a.m. So it's a pretty good stretch, but
yeah,
we try to cover to make sure that, the times that everybody does want wings after games or after they leave, whatever clubs or anything that, they have a place to go. One thing that we did want to kind of solve when it came to offering this type of establishment in the town is getting with the police department, off-duty cops, and, just security is the main thing that we're thinking about right now because we've been looking at what's been going on with all the other places, and we don't want to be one of those. So.
Yeah, you stated that you're going to be open till 3 a.m. in the morning.
3 a.m.
Will your kitchen be open until 3 a.m.?
The whole time.
Okay. Because you realize to be able to sell alcohol, that your kitchen is going to have to be open at
Has to
this
be
point
open.
in time.
Yes, sir.
Also, the city of Troy, Pike County, and the state of Alabama frowns on selling alcohol to minors. Do you have a plan
Yes.
for that?
We definitely want to have all of our employees undergo the ABC boards. They have a class that each of our employees can take so they understand what to do. We have different training protocols that we're going to offer just so they'll know what to do, how to go about the whole minor situation. We do not want to have anyone, minors or even of age, to even leave and, be served too much liquor or anything like that. We kind of want to just like keep a control over it just so we know for sure that we're putting a good thing here in Troy and not something to look down upon. That's mainly one of the main things.
Councilman Paramore, I make the motion that we approve this license.
Second.
All right, council, you have the motion by Mr. Meeks, seconded by Ms. Moultrie. Any questions or comments regarding the license? If none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the alcohol license is granted. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Appreciate you doing business in Troy.
Best of luck.
All right. The next item of business is Resolution 2019-76, Alabama Department of Transportation Special Work Authorization Agreement. Council, this agreement is for the state of Alabama to inspect 8 bridges within the city of Troy, within our city limits. These are city-owned streets, bridges that they will be inspecting. Is that correct, Mr. Daniels? He is shaking his head yes. The agreement is for $2,492.62. With that, are there any questions or comments regarding the Alabama Department of Transportation agreement? If not, is there a motion to approve? By Mr. Jones, seconded by
Second.
Ms. Baker. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the resolution is agreed to. Thank you, council. The next item on our agenda is a user relations agreement with our police department and Ward's Yamaha. Chief, if you'll give us a brief explanation of the user relations agreement.
This is basically just a loaner use program between Kawasaki Motor Company and Ward's Yamaha, where they will provide an ATV for use by law enforcement agency for law enforcement purposes, to take out our mission in patrol, enforcement, rescue, or education. We would use this with parades, search and rescue, other special events, concerts, and that type of stuff. Our only cost in this would be to maintain insurance on this vehicle while we have it, and also service of this vehicle while we have it. Insurance should be less than $500 per year, and maintenance should be $500 or less per year.
All right, and you have money in your budget to handle
Yes, sir.
these, okay? Any questions or comments for Chief Barr related to the agreement? If not, a motion to approve is in order.
So moved.
By Mr. Meeks, seconded by Ms. Baker. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the resolution is agreed to. Thank you, Chief Barr, and if you'll just hang right there, we'll let you do the next one as well. Resolution 2019-78, which is a school resource officer MOU with the Troy Police Department and the Troy City Schools. If you'll give us a brief explanation of the MOU, please, sir.
Well, this is a memorandum of understanding between the Troy Police Department and the Troy City Schools to provide school resource officers on campus of our schools here in the city. We have a school resource officer at the elementary school and that floats back and forth between the elementary school and the middle school, and we have one that's on campus at the high school. This memorandum basically sets out, what our responsibility is and what the school's responsibility is when these SROs are on campus. The mission of the program is the reduction and prevention of school-related violence and crime committed by juveniles and young adults. The program aims to create and maintain safe, secure, and orderly learning environments for students, teachers, and staff. This is best accomplished by assigning law enforcement officers employed by the City of Troy Police Department to Troy City Schools facilities on a permanent basis.
All right, any questions or comments for Chief Barr regarding this MOU? I have one. Is there any cost that the school system to the city, or is this provided?
No,
Which is fine. I was just curious if there was a cost associated with it at all.
From the school system?
From the school system?
No, sir.
Okay.
Other than just providing an office type environment for the SRO.
Okay.
And Chief, our officers will be trained, or they know their limits, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
They're the ones we have currently have been through the advanced program that NASRO offers at this time.
I would like to propose 2 amendments to the MOU, just to tighten it up a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Baker.
Section 2, regarding the term, I'd like to propose that we amend that the term begin October 1, 2019, which would give Chief time to get his signatures from the city schools, and end July 30th, 2022, which will give us 3 years for this agreement. And then in section 4, currently reads, the City of Troy Police Department shall assign 2 full-time law enforcement officers. I'd like to amend that to say shall assign no less than 2 full-time law enforcement officers. I think the council and the chief has agreed that we would all like to see, ideally, that there would be 3.
Correct.
Each school having their own resource officer. So we want to just allow room for that in the next 3 years, that if we can find a way to budget and get that 3rd resource officer there, we don't want this to prevent any issues.
All right, any questions or comments regarding the amendment? I only have one, that the opening paragraph reflect the change of date as well, to match the amendment in section 2. If there are no other questions, comments regarding.
So no with the corrections or amendments.
All right, Ms. Moultrie has made a motion to approve the resolution with the amendment provided by Ms. Baker. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, that's right.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Jones. I was just ready to go ahead and get it over with. Thank you, Mr. Jones, and thank you, Ms. Clerk, for keeping us doing what we're supposed to do. All right. We have a motion by Ms. Moultrie, seconded by Mr. Jones. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the resolution is agreed to. Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Council, and definitely thank you, Ms. Clerk. All right. The next item on our agenda is Ordinance 406, which is amending Chapter 13 of the Code of Ordinances. And Mr. Chandler, I'll try to knock this out, but this is the second reading on this ordinance, which changes the new account utility customer for residential per the age of consent to 18. It changes in Section 2 an electric rate for wholesale sales to South Alabama Electric Cooperative, and in Section 3 an electric fee to provide detailed metering date to primary metered customers that request it. Is that correct? All right. With that, Council, you have the ordinance in front of you, and that will serve as a second reading. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Mr. Meeks, seconded by
Second.
Ms. Moultrie. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the ordinance is agreed to. And Ms. Clerk, if you will please note that that was a unanimous vote on Ordinance 406. All right. With that, that concludes our regular business. We do not have any appointments this evening. And with the mayor being out due to sickness, we do not have a report from him at this time. So, council member comments, Mr. Jones?
Thank you, sir. I would just like to let the residents, citizens of Troy, remind them that we're going through a heat wave right now. So check on the elderly and try to make sure we stay hydrated. And I also like to send condolences out to the Hendricks family and loss of their loved one.
Thank you, Mr. Meeks.
Okay.
Ms. Baker? Ms. Moultrie?
Okay. I just want to remind the people here in the city of Troy about the road closing when Troy has a game. And they close those roads 2 hours prior to kickoff. Isn't that right, T? So I just want to remind you. So make sure you just find an alternate route so you won't get frustrated when you're a little later than the 2 hours and you have to turn around. So I wanted to remind the people about that because they've been on my phone. But anyway, I just want to remind everyone about that.
The closure is from International Boulevard, Boulevard Drive, which is right there in front of the high school, that traffic lane, all the way to Johnny Home, and on the other side. That section between Johnny Home and International Boulevard will be closed to vehicle traffic, unless you have a pass in front of the It's 2 hours traffic.
And I also would like to remind the people in District 5 that we will have our meeting on October 24th here at 5:30. And if you have something that you would like to discuss or want me to find out about prior to, just call me at 403-2659 and I'll be happy to look into it and see if I can get you an answer. And I too send my the condolences out to the Moultrie family and the loss of their grandmother and their mother.
All right, thank you. Ms. Baker, you have one thing you'd like to add?
I do. No, I said no comments. I threw you off. And then you looked at me like, I know you have a comment. And I should have known that I did. September is Special Cleanup Month for District 4. This is a wonderful opportunity to clean out and call 311 and they will come and pick it up from your curb, or you can put it out on your regular garbage and recycling collection day. And that is all I have.
All right. Just quickly, I know we have a special event coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock where the Troy Fire Department is having a promotional ceremony, and there's some great candidates on here that are being promoted. And Chief, thank you and to your team for what you do for our city, and congratulations to these people that are being promoted. And we're proud of them and proud of your department. Mr. Jones brought up the fact that we're still in the midst of summer heat, even though it's September. And please be careful out there with that. And again, we've said it for the last 3 meetings, but thank you to our employees out there who are doing your work every day out on the streets in those uniforms. And to our first responders, we thank you for what you do for our city, no matter what the weather is. We appreciate it. Appreciate all of our employees. And with that, a motion to adjourn is in order. We are dismissed. Thank you.
I've never played it acoustic before, so sorry if it was a little rough, but I'm about to play a song by Alan Stone.